He once famously told his brothers, "While you're dreaming, I'm scheming." In fact, Jere Harris has spent his life doing both. He broke rules, made new ones, and broke those too. In the process, he built Production Resource Group, a worldwide conglomerate providing production services for every conceivable part of our industry. It is his multifaceted talent, his intuitive people skills, and his fearless business bravado that has fueled this inspiring career. Born Jeremiah Joseph Harris on September 8, 1954, he came into the world with theater-imprinted DNA. So with a pedigree like his, it's not surprising that Harris was destined to make his mark in the family business. At 16, he was able to work at a Broadway scenic shop for Pete Feller, where Harris says he not only learned a lot about the craft, but of life. Here he would adopt from Feller the elders' renowned never say die philosophy. He next went to work as a production manager for Theater Now, the largest Broadway theater management company during the 1970s. Even then, Jere exhibited that rare combination of greatness, recalls Theater Now founder William Court Cohen. He had a visionary technical understanding of the industry, an unusually high business acumen, and he was a gentleman by anyone's standard. Rarely are all three traits in one human being, especially at such a young age. In 1982, at the age of 28, he started Harris Production Services with Fred Gallo, Roy Sears, John Wolfe, and Kevin Baxley. Harris was also on the forefront of the revolution to bring Broadway-level sophistication to corporate events. In those early days, it was easy enough to get a meeting with starstruck corporate suits, but Harris had to convince them their show certainly wasn't beneath them, and they weren't. He is quick to point out that often the rigging used in an auto show was more complicated than one of his Broadway blockbusters. And it's important that the Oldsmobile CEO be presented just as well as Mary Martin in Peter Pan. The seeds of diversification continued to blossom, and Harris's roving eye launched into other markets including houses of worship, schools, colleges, concerts, and live television events. Next was his founding of Scenic Technologies in 1987, and there they would make theater history. Harris would be asked to build the machinery and control system for what would be one of Broadway's biggest blockbusters, Phantom of the Opera. That was really a turning point for our company, Harris says. A control system built using an early Allen Bradley PLC broke new ground, though it certainly was maddening getting it to work, as it was medieval days when computers crashed at an ulcer-inducing frequency. The show, however, went on and on and on, all the way into the record books. In 1994, another groundbreaking show came to them, Michael Crawford's EFX. Harris took on the role of executive producer. The job offered the challenge of every scene being technically the equivalent of an entire Broadway musical. The next market Harris invaded was theme parks. He looked at all these forays into different markets, even when they weren't always financially successful, as opportunities to learn and grow. Continued growth allowed him to found what we know as PRG in 1996. More companies were brought into the fold, and that aggressive business plan continues today. Soon, PRG had 16 offices in the US, Canada, UK, and Japan, with 1,500 people on the payroll. A devoted family man, he's maintained a sense of balance that has no doubt contributed to his success as well. His wife, daughter, dogs, okay, his golf game too, helps him to stay grounded as he steers the Queen Mary-sized ship PRG has become. Looking back at this life in the arts, it's easy to forget he's still a young man with a great deal more to contribute to our industry. I say the world is about change, he says. We change every day, emotionally, spiritually. I think what happens to the entire industry enhances the experience for all of us in certain ways, and it's all for the positive.
He was always, as he would say, while you guys are dreaming, I'm scheming.
He can make things happen.
He's got that gift.
Smartest, most clever fox in the industry.
Jere Harris, a worthy recipient of the Parnelli Lifetime Achievement Award.